The National Museum of Photography, Film and Television in Bradford recently converted an unused theatre into the first luxury single-screen cinema outside London, and its name is Pictureville. The museum itself was originally converted from an unused civic theatre and stands proudly in the city centre. The auditorium was gutted to provide the working centrepiece, a 342-seat IMAX cinema with a screen 5 stories high. The cinema can show ordinary films from a projection room underneath the IMAX booth, but they needed another cinema capable of full presentation to show all normal film formats, and eventually Cinerama. There was no room for a second cinema within the museum building, but the opportunity arose in 1990 to take over and convert the then underused library theatre. The Architects Division of the Bradford Metropolitan Council were given the task of conversion and providing the structural shell for the new cinema, and the museum undertook the furnishings and equipment of the building. Pictureville opened with the northern premiere of Steven Spielberg's film Hook in the presence of the Duchess of Kent on the 8th of April 1992. Various factors affected the cinema's colour scheme. The museum wanted the auditorium finished in a dark colour and to reinforce the Cinerama concept by installing Cinerama red curtains to the auditorium. The original version of Cinerama used 3 projectors, each one projecting 1/3 of the image, seen in full on the screen. All 3 projectors are fitted with toothed cones which oscillate vertically inside the projector gate to help hide the joint by blurring the edge between the pictures on the screen.
You're looking at the new installation of going on right now of the Cinerama 146-degree motion picture curved screen, and this is the screen which requires 3 projectors all running synchronized to project a peripheral view that, when viewed by the audience, makes them feel like they're in the picture without the use of spatial glasses. So it's truly not 3D, but better to most people's thinking after they see it, because not only the discomfort you have after a time wearing glasses, but the beauty that's rendered by the peripheral view that comes off the film. Great depth of focus is on the film, and when viewed on this wraparound screen, you definitely feel like you're in the picture.
The Cinerama camera consists of a single shutter housing, behind which run 3 interlocked 35mm film cameras, each film being exposed by a 27mm lens and again covering 1/3 of the field of view. The Cinerama frame is 6 perforations high instead of the more conventional 4, and with each camera using 146 feet of film per minute, 1 minute screen time uses 438 feet of film. The man who invented it all was Fred Waller. Working as a special effects wizard for Paramount in the 1920s, he became obsessed with the idea of capturing the field of view and the perspective of the human eye. In early experiments, he proved that our peripheral vision is just as important in depth perception as is stereoscopic or binocular vision. When the US petroleum industry began to plan its exhibit for the 1939 World's Fair in New York, thought centered on a spherical screen covered by multiple projected images. Although the exhibit was never built, it gave Fred the key to his peripheral vision process. War now intervened, and Fred adapted the Vitorama idea into the Waller's gunnery trainer. The trainer helped to save many airmen during the Second World War. After the war, Fred returned to the development of Vitorama. By 1948, he had demonstrated a working prototype, which he rechristened Cinerama. But in July 1950, the backers suddenly pulled out. Frequent demonstrations now took place, as virtually every studio head saw and rejected the process. There was of course nothing new about widescreen movies. As early as 1896, a 63mm film with a widescreen format had been in use. And Abel Gaunt's Napoleon used triple screen sequences, but Cinerama was something very special. Eventually, with the help of Lowell Thomas and Mike Todd, the inventor of Todd-O, Cinerama premiered at the Hollywood Theatre, New York on the 30th of September 1952. Public reaction was near pandemonium outside the theatre. The Hollywood moguls who had previously turned Fred's Cinerama down now went scurrying to dust off inferior but cheaper widescreen systems which had been on the shelves for years. The success of Cinerama was short-lived. The last known public performance of three-strip Cinerama took place at Walsall, England on the 5th of November 1967. The show closed without warning, though three-strip installations were still being made in late 1964. By 1968 it was all over. It was the mid-80s before the many admirers of the original process realised the extent of Cinerama's demise, when in 1985 the last theatre to still possess the equipment plus a full set of prints was destroyed. Despite attempts to save it, the International Cinerama Society arose with the aim of preserving Waller's wonder. The ICS, in conjunction with Cinerama, have over the years been compiling possibly the greatest piece of cinema archaeology ever attempted. Not only have the negatives and sound masters had to be traced and restored, complete projection and sound systems have had to be tracked down, overhauled and even refabricated from original drawings and memory. Spurred on by the tremendous enthusiasm of everyone involved, the jigsaw has finally fallen into place. For the first time in 25 years, Cinerama opened to the public at Pictureville on the 16th of June 1993. The ICS hope that Pictureville will enable a whole new generation of moviegoers to thrill to the wonders of Cinerama as part of the history of cinema. Lowell Thomas never lost faith. Even at the time of his death in 1981, he was proposing new films and ways to revitalise Cinerama. The residents of Bradford are fortunate to have this cinema on their doorstep.